Hey guys, so I'm here with my friend Jen. We actually met on our team trip for Enagic, and she was telling me a little bit about her story of how she got into the business. And through that, she was sharing about her cancer story and also some pretty phenomenal things that it kind of blew my mind because we were talking about the Kangen water. And so we'll kind of get to that and why she chooses to use it. And those of you that are like living a non-toxic lifestyle or working to eliminate toxins from your home, I think you're really going to want to listen to her story and also learn a little bit about why we are so passionate about Kangen water and what it can do for you and your home. So Jen, thanks for sharing your story, and I'd love for you to just tell us about, where you live, what you do, and then kind of that story you were sharing with us around the pool of like when you found out you had cancer and everything, and kind of what that journey was like. And
I'm a sonographer by trade. I've been doing ultrasound for 22 years now. And about 7 years ago, I was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And my twins were 7 at the time. And, I was as healthy as anybody could be. I was eating clean. I was exercising, working out with a trainer 5 days a week. And I was 39 at the time. And when I would go on a run, I was running about 5 miles at the time. And when I would go on a run, I would kind of have a little pain in my chest, like, oh, is this what 40 is going to be like? Hard to breathe, out of shape. Yeah.
I was just impressed that you're running 5 miles. I'm like, I can't even do that.
Well, then I upped it to 10 miles. So I was running 10 miles a day because I was like, oh, 40 is coming. I'm getting old. I got to run more. So I was running about 10 miles a day and working out with a trainer 5 days a week and eating clean and doing what I thought was all the stuff.
Yeah.
And then, one day I came down with kind of this productive cough and a heart rate changes that were going on, and went into the urgent care. They did a chest x-ray, and there was an 8-centimeter mass on top of my heart. And working in imaging, being the director of imaging at the time, I knew it wasn't pneumonia or something simply curable. So it was actually non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And so then I started cancer treatment and went through 8 rounds of chemo and a stem cell transplant. And, I asked the doctor, like, why did I get this? Nobody in my family has this. I eat clean. I exercise. Like, I'm in good shape. I'm running 10 miles a day.
You're running 10 miles, yeah.
I don't want to run any farther. And he's like, well, we don't know. Could be something in your environment. We just have no idea.
Yeah.
So I started looking at the things in my environment because, when I got the diagnosis, anytime you get news like that, your first reaction is like, oh my gosh, why me? Like, how is this happening? But, after that, it was like, thank God this isn't one of my children.
Yeah.
And then I kind of started thinking, well, if this can happen to me, these little kids that have, these bodies that absorb everything, what is getting into their body and how's that changing them?
Yeah.
So I started looking at our environment and things in our environment, toxins in our environment, and you would not believe the things that you eat and you use to clean and the things you put on your skin, the toxins that are in your environment. And so I started looking for ways to eliminate toxins in our environment, kind of one room at a time. And
that's a good way to do it.
I was tempted to just throw out all the household cleaners and be like, I'm not cleaning anymore, but that doesn't go over very well. And so it was a couple of years after I was cancer-free, I came across Enagic and the Kangen water and started reading about it. And I was a skeptic of, all these uses for the water, and my kids were, into experiments at that time. And so I thought, well, let's test some of this stuff out, And so we keep Petri dishes around the house, and we have this little thing that you can grow things in. And so I cleaned one bathroom with, soft scrub, Clorox, toxic waste.
I'm thinking of all the stuff that I clean with, and those are some of them I still have, and I'm like, I gotta get rid of them. And this is just side note. That's how I started asking. I'm like, I've been wanting to use our Kangen water to clean because it says you can. and we have like a 2.5 pH, but I was like, I don't know if I still trust that part of cleaning my bathroom.
Right,
So
right.
that's how we kind of got on this topic of what you did. So
Yeah.
you have to share this.
Yeah. So we did an experiment because my kids were into experimenting at that time. And I cleaned one bathroom with all the toxic products and that sort of thing. And then I cleaned the other bathroom with just the water.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like you test anything, put it on the Petri dish and see what grows. And I was astounded that there was very minimal stuff growing in that Petri dish.
With just water, right?
Right, with just water, like no toxic chemicals, no, and I didn't have to like scrub, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was amazing, and it was kind of mind blowing.
It was my mom. When you told me, I was like, oh my gosh, and now it made me want to go try it, because I've been like you, have been eliminating things kind of as I've gone, because I've been learning more about the environmental toxins, and my sister and I both have health issues. And my poor mom, she's like, I probably poisoned you your whole life. And so we've both been really working to try and create a more non-toxic home environment. I'm thinking, I don't have kids yet, but that's why, partly why I was like motivated for them, so that I could make, them healthier.
Well, and you do, as a parent, you do everything to try and protect your kids. Put your helmet on, put your seatbelt on, don't jump off the roof. But what are you putting in their bodies and on their bodies? And so it was really, really eye-opening to see that with just water, you can clean your bathroom and feel like, oh, this is germ-free. This is healthy,
Because you said in the other Petri dish, it was just...
There was still stuff growing. There was still stuff growing.
With the when you're using like Clorox and bleach and all that stuff. Yeah.
So we actually did like a baseline with, okay, how dirty is the tub?
Right.
And,
that's a good idea. Yeah.
That grew a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And then
I probably would too.
The chemicals there was not a lot there, but there was still more stuff than the water. It was amazing.
Yeah,
so
wow.
You could do that test at home. You don't have to have the Petri dish. You could use it with bread.
Yeah,
because the kids did tests in school with bread to grow stuff like that.
Oh, right.
Things that they tested around.
I should know that since I teach, but
there you go. An experiment for your classroom.
There we go.
Okay, kids, we're gonna try this.
Let's try that with the bread.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. So then you got the condom machine to help start eliminating toxins from your environment. And then were you doing the business right from the beginning, or did you try like later on decide I'm going to do the business side too?
Yeah, I wasn't doing the business from the beginning. I mean, when I saw the comp plan in the beginning, I was like, oh, this could be really amazing. But at that point, it just wasn't, I just didn't feel like that was something I wanted to pursue in my life.
Right.
And recently partnered my ultrasound business with somebody else. So I have more free time and feel like I'm not so overwhelmed running this other brick and mortar business.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I'm going to look at this comp plan again, because you hear about high ticket and, I started in social selling actually before my kids were born, because my kids were the product of IVF.
Yeah.
And so they're almost 15. So 16, 17 years ago, I started in social selling.
Yeah.
And never really pursued it because the training was ineffective. It felt really spammy. Like, I'm not a salesperson.
Right. Yeah. And I think a lot of people relate to that. Like, that's what's probably held a lot of people back from, because the training's not there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be the salesperson.
Right. And then, you make a profit of $20, $40, $50. I'm like, okay, this really isn't for me. But with, high ticket and being able to make multiple figures from one sale, I mean, it just seemed smart. And so about 6 months ago, I jumped into the business and decided, you know what, let's do this. Let's change people's lives, because not only is the water amazing, but this opportunity, for people like me who you're working a full-time job, you're dependent on someone else, and then all this crazy stuff is going on in the world, and suddenly you can't depend on someone else.
Right.
So,
So like starting to create something. So what's your kind of vision? Like, what was motivating you to like do your business online when you have this, like, you do have your great business here as a sonographer, right? And so, so what is your vision that, like this was a vehicle that can help you get there?
Yeah. So I love ultrasound. And I like I said, I've been doing it for 22 years, and I'm super passionate about it and really passionate about helping people. But when you kind of get this glimpse of, I have to rely on someone else for my income and my security,
Yeah.
now I have a 2-year-old also. So I actually went back and did IVF again and have a 2-year-old. And so I'm kind of at the point like, okay, I'm an older mom, so I'm what I call a half-life mom. I might be around for half of her life. So my goal is to live as long as possible.
Yeah.
So I want to be
healthy,
but also
yeah.
I want to be home with her, you know, and the teenagers have maybe 3 years left in the house. So I really want to be home, but I don't want to be home and just working and busy. I want to be present. So if I can do something where I can spend a couple hours a day, spend time with my kids, replace my 9-to-5 income, I mean, that's the ultimate goal. And really, by the end of the year, that's my goal.
That's what we're working on. And that's the cool thing is it's possible here because of the high ticket commissions. With being a teacher, that's what I saw. I'm like, I could, with a sailor too, make more than I was making in a month teaching. So that was really eye-opening to me too. And so if any of her story resonated with you, whether the health journey or just being able to continue to replace toxins in your home and make it more environmentally friendly for you and your family, and you want to look at the Conga machine or look at the business, which we, like, you said, everybody kind of has kind of different reasons for getting started, but we have something here that could, I think, really help, like you said, change lives. It's really making a huge difference. So we would love to share more with you. So drop water below so that we can connect you with more resources to help you learn more about it, and even possibly show you what it would look like too if you were doing the business side of it. So thanks for sharing, Jen.
Yeah, thanks, Natalie. I appreciate it. And such a pleasure meeting you.
I know, you too. I'm so glad. I wish the trip wasn't almost over, but yeah. All right, you guys. Can't wait to hear from you.